Hello everyone, welcome back to virtual session on PHP. In today's session, this is an elementary session on PHP. So I'll be discussing about what is PHP, advantages of PHP, versions of PHP, as well as how to write form, installations of XAMPP control panel or rather XAMPP server, which is cross-platform server, to how to code in PHP and everything related to the basics of PHP I'll be covering in this particular session. First of all, we need to discuss about what is exactly PHP means. As we know, it's a server-side coding language, means a script which runs at server. In case of web development, we have to divide this entire web development in two phases initially. First is view at client, means whenever you connect yourself to the web server, what will be get downloaded in your machine and interpreted by the browser, that is your client side presentation view. It is actually designed by HTML, CSS and JavaScript. To design a client-side view, we have to use HTML, CSS and JavaScript, and to process the data at server side, we have to use server-side programming languages. Like there are many other languages like ASP.NET, C#, JSP, PHP, and many more. So PHP also used for developing a server-side data processing code. PHP was originally created by a developer named Rasmus Ledov, and he developed the first version in 8th of June 1995, and here we are having various versions get updated, and currently we are having a 7.4 version. This is about the development of PHP. PHP is abbreviated for hypertext preprocessor. It means it's language which is designed and developed for developing a server-side script for processing the data on the server side. Let us discuss the advantages of PHP. As just recently discussed, there are many other popular server-side programming language, mainly ASP.NET, C#, JSP. But PHP having its own role. Mainly in the advantages of PHP, the performance, portability, ease to use, open source, third-party application support, community support. These are the main advantages what we have in PHP. Popular social media like Facebook also design and develop using PHP. It gives the idea to us how popular or performance wise or ease to use wise. Open source means you can able to develop the applications in any platform, not to the specific one. As well as community supports means your global handshake alliances are there. All the globe community, so developers community will support for this development of this particular programming language. To run a PHP script on the server, we have to firstly install the PHP server. There are many more PHP servers available, like a WAMP server, which is useful for Microsoft Windows OS, APK MySQL PHP, LAMP server, which is for the Linux operating system, MAMP server, which is for Mac or APK MySQL PHP. But there is a popular server in case of PHP that is called as XAMPP server, which is a cross operating systems, means you can use in any operating systems. So that is why in my today's session also I'll be discussing more about how to install the XAMPP server and how to run the codes on the XAMPP server. This is an application architecture of PHP. As a client, we need to send a request to the server. This request, hypertext transmission protocol will get this request from you and transfer to the server. Here is the server side script or your APK web server, which runs the server side script and develop the response, and then it will be responded to the client. So in this manner your PHP server or PHP works. As I just discussed, that at the client end mainly we find the two phases, the client side and server side, but actually it is divided in three phases: presentation layer, application layer, and the data layer. Presentation layer consists that things which is view at client, and application layer consists that things which processed on the server, and data layer will take care of database management, means the data given or data posted from the client and data processed by the application logic that will be permanently stored in the database at server side, and that will be taken care by server side database. So mainly in case of web developments there are three phases. Presentation layer. For presentation layer we have to take help of the HTML, CSS, JavaScript for providing dynamic data processing at the client side, or adding a logic brain to the static web pages. That is the role of a JavaScript. And then this data will be posted to the server, and there comes a role of a PHP, which accepts the data, process the data at the server side, develop the response for the client, and even updates the database as well. So this is an architecture: client set the request, web server, business logic, database, services, dynamic HTML pages, static HTML pages. These all functionalities, right from the static to dynamic to services to database and the application and the business logic, that everything combinedly called as. So at client it is having only the view state, it is at the receiving end, but server has to to develop the response, it has to take help of this all the functionalities or the features available on the server. So in the virtual directory of web server, these all static HTML pages, services, dynamic HTML pages, database, web server, application logic, business logic, everything is available. So we'll create the virtual directory and publish it, and then your XAMPP server or PHP server will make that services, make that application logic, business logic at runtime available to the client, so that client can send the request and get the response from the server. Here is another architecture. As it's a web-based, means multi-user, multitasking systems. Throughout the globe, n number of users can connect to the server. Server-side logic will process the database and develop the response for the n number of clients connecting throughout the world. And this is the way how the web services works, right? So let us understand now. If you can, as just recently discussed, we have to firstly install the XAMPP server. I'm having Windows 10 operating systems in my machine. So what I will do, I'll Google out how to install XAMPP server for Windows 10, and then you'll got the download link. You can download XAMPP Windows 64-bit, okay, or whichever the bit processor you are having. Recommended XAMPP server for Windows 10, and download 64-bit over there. After downloading, you will get the exe get downloaded to your machine. Executable file get downloaded to your machine, and then after successfully downloading that completely exe file, you run the exe file. Then you have to follow these all the steps. The good literature available on the internet, you can browse it and follow this all the process. Okay, install a XAMPP control panel. This process is called as installing a XAMPP control panel. Control panel means not only the XAMPP server, but at the same time MySQL server and many more services also we can activate. So follow this literature and process. It will form a folders in the C drive or whichever drive you want to by the name of XAMPP, and inside that various folders can be managed. You can select all the specific services what you need, and in this manner, by following this process, your XAMPP server will be on. XAMPP server will be installed, right? So after installing that XAMPP server, by executing that XAMPP exe, now you need to switch to the XAMPP control panel. So you, after successful installations, you on your XAMPP control panel. Now here comes the interface of a XAMPP control panel. Then you start all the services. Like initially, I'm starting the service on the server side. Now it's if it is already started, you can go for stop, and you can restart it again. So from here, by using XAMPP control panel, you can start and stop the services on your machine. So here now, Apache server, XAMPP server on the port number 80 is started. At the same time, MySQL server is also started services over there. So up till now, what we did, we discussed about what is PHP, advantages of PHP, how to install the XAMPP server and XAMPP control panel. Let us do some coding over here now. So when you install your XAMPP server, in the C drive, you will find a folder by the name of XAMPP. cross-platform PHP server. And to create a virtual directory or to create the project of PHP, in the XAMPP folder you will find the folder by the name of htdocs, right? htdocs means hypertext docs, the projects you want to publish on the PHP server. So go to the htdocs and create your own folder. I created my own folder by the name of my PHP demo. I want to develop PHP codes and store in that my PHP demo folder. So after installing XAMPP control panel, you start the services of the XAMPP and then go to the folder called as htdocs and create your, which is in the XAMPP folder, create your own folder by the name of any name. Here my name is my PHP demo is my folder name. After that, you can go to the cmd command prompt, okay, and open by specifying code dot. You have to, if you want to do the coding through the Visual Source Code, you switch to the Visual Source Code. Guys who already aware about how to switch to the Visual Source Code, that knows you have to select the folder and type cmd, and then you'll come to the command prompt, and then by pressing code dot, you'll be switched to the Visual Source Code. Now, by default, whenever you create any folder in the htdocs, index.php is like a main function in programming languages, which by default get runs. In the similar manner, you got a index.php, means in the browser, if the XAMPP server is on, if you type localhost and enter, then it will run the index.php of XAMPP. Okay, index.php means there is no reference needed to run that particular file. It will run by default. So after that, we have a folder that is PHP my PHP demo. So if you switch to the my PHP demo, so it will run by default the index.php, which is by default runnable file. So that is of my PHP demo. So let us switch to the my PHP demo. Here I write a simple code HTML. As I said, it's a HTML. HTML will runs at the view at the client, and the PHP scripts runs at the server. To add the PHP code, you have to, in the Angular bracket, you have to use $PHP and end by this. Means this script is a PHP script which runs on the server, and then the rest HTML tags are viewed at the client side of it. So PHP code you have to embed in HTML, and your XAMPP server will make that PHP script runnable on the server. Okay, so here in this case, HTML, I set the background color. Okay, Angular bracket $PHP. Now this script is actually runs on the server. If your server is off, then this script won't work. So to run this PHP file, your XAMPP server should be on. So here $name, in case of PHP, variables get declared by the $name equals to Sushil, $address equals to IT Park Nagpur. Means here we declare the two variables by the name of name and add. Now echo means if you want to print something, then you have to use echo $nm. Now there are two variables, $name and $add. Now if you want to combine, okay, in case of programming language like Java, we can use plus to concat the things. Here in case of PHP, we have to use dot. So echo $name means name of the data which is available in the name variable, dot and then the space and then dot address. Welcome to Axiom Tech Guru Private Limited. So I'm expecting an output Sushil, then there is a space, IT Park Nagpur, welcome to Axiom Tech Guru Private Limited. So here in this example, as what I discussed, whenever you create a folder in htdocs, by default a file will be added that is called as index.php, and whenever you switch to that particular folder, by default this file is going to execute. There is no specific requirements. You're not supposed to specify the name of the file to execute over here. So index.php have the functionality like a main function. So inside that, now I declare the variables name. How basically this code will help you out how to declare the variables in PHP. Declare every statements will be terminated by the semicolon, just like a programming language like C. Here you declare the variables, and if you want to make the concatenations of the concatenation means it's a string concatenations, right? Means you have a comment, you have the variable values. So if you want to print any variable value, you have to use the echo statement, echo. So these are all the PHP functionalities which runs on the server. So whenever you switch to the local host, if your server is XAMPP server is on, so it will display the index.php of the XAMPP, and after that if you switch to your folder, the index.php, the default file get run, and here is the result: Sushil, concatenation, IT Park Nagpur, welcome to Axiom Tech Guru Private Limited. So now here in this manner we can declare the variables and concate them. Now let's go to the program number 1, right? So now your you can create the file by click on new file and add a file. Now prg1.php will not run by default. You have to specify onto the browser. Now here in the PHP script, now how to write the PHP script? At the start point you can go with a question mark PHP, at the end question mark, and inside that you can add the PHP code. So $txt, there is a variable named by the $txt, and it got the constant stored, that is called PHP. And here I'm trying to comment as well as the value of variables we are concatenating. So I love $txt, it means like I'll get the output I love PHP. So by default your index.php will work, but if you want to run a specific file, you have to specify the name of the file. Here it is, I love PHP. Now PHP is a constant which is stored in a variable $txt, and then in the comment as well as the value of variables you can able to combine in this manner. Now PHP is a full-fledged programming language. So if you want to make a comment, so if you want to have a comment, PHP, just like in case of HTML, we can have a comment like exclamation and then comment in HTML. In the similar manner, if you want to comment in PHP, then 2/ is useful for single line comment. You have a hash. You can go for the hash for the single line comment like a 2/. At the same time, if you want to go for the multi-line comment, then you can use */ and start with /* and then multi-lines, and then like this, like the program. If you are aware about the programming language like C or Java, you can have you aware about the comment style, a single line. The additional things is you can have a single line comment by using hash as well, right? So in HTML we can comment like this: exclamation, hyphen, and ends with the hyphen, and in case of PHP we have to comment like 2/, then this multi-line comment, as well as we can use hash. Now here it is $name equals to Sushil and echo hi, and then concatenations. To concate the comment as well as the variables, you have to use a dot, right? And here is the multiple comment style used in PHP. If you go with the prg2, here is you will get the result hi Sushil. Then let's go for the next code. Here we are trying to explore the PHP how we're already aware about how to create the web pages using HTML, how to decorate them by CSS, whether it's a inline, whether it's a internal or external. After that, after developing the presentation layer, now it's time to come to the server side program, learn the server side programming language, and that is PHP. Now, if you want to perform arithmetics in PHP, then dollar first equals to 100, dollar second equals to 200, dollar third equals to dollar first plus dollar second, and you can means like you can able to perform the arithmetics. Okay, the value of the variables first and second will be added and assigned to the third, and then you can echo and print like this. Here you'll get the result of addition, which is stored in third. Here you will get the result of subtraction. Let us check it out. Here G3. Here is the summation is 300 and subtraction is 500. Now here there is another functionality called as unset. Means now up till now we just discussed one thing. To declare a variable and assign the data, we are having a dollar. It has to be preceded by dollar, and then we assign the data, and we can fetch the data by using dollar name. But there is an unset function. Unset will destroy that reference of the variable. Means it will delete the variable from the memory. So unset dollar name, right? Means if you declare the variable, you can equal it, but if you use unset, it will delete the references from the memory. Now here is first equal to 100, second equal to 200, third equals to dollar first for dollar second, and here you what you did, you print the summation, and then if you make it unset, you will find that no variable available, that is called as third. Let us check it out how unset works. Look here, it will print the value of some 100 when the variable declared, but whenever you use unset, there is no variable available. Means to delete any variable, to derefer the variable which is declared in the declared prior, you can use the unset function of PHP. Here dollar name equals to Axiom, and like the PHP is a case sensitive language. Means you can declare a variable of small type and capital type, then obvious there are the two different variables it will treat as. Dollar name equals to Axiom and dollar name capital, the variable names are same, but as PHP is a case sensitive, for PHP dollar name and dollar capital name are the two different variables. So whenever you print dollar name equal to Axiom, dollar name equal to Axiom take guru, if you print it, you will find two different variables, and their values will be fetched. So the result will be Axiom take guru, right? Though the variable names are same, but their cases are different. So PHP will consider as a different variables. So it proves that PHP is a case sensitive language. Here it is. Though the variable names are same, but the cases are different, so it will be treated as two different variables. Now here in this case, dollar name equal to Axiom, dollar age equal to 25, var_dum. There is another function called as var_dum, which will actually give us the details of the what type of variable it is. Just like we use echo. Echo is useful for only printing the values from or fetch the values from the variable and print on the browser. But var_dum will give you the not only echo the value, but it will give the details of the what type of variable, string type of variable, and like what will be the size of it and its value that will be printed. So for that reason we have to use a var_dum, variable dump, means like details about variable contents, what type of data it is and what type of value it stores and all. That is called a var_dum. Now here in this case, there is a concept of a reference variable. I'll help you out. What do you mean by reference variable? If you know about the pointers, means like let us say what is pointer is. If you are having a int a equals to 5, referring to C, a equals to 5 and pointer b equals to address of a, then if you print a, it will print 5, but if you print pointer b, it will also print 5, right? This is called as a reference variable, referring to C. So here in this case also in PHP, we are using $. We use dollar to create a variable and store the value of variable. But if you use $, okay, there is a difference between the dollar and $. So dollar is a normal variable and $, is a reference variable. We'll be discussing this about reference variable, pointer variable. If you have if you have a bit awareness of pointers, you'll understand this particular reference variable concepts. So $name equals to Raju, $name equals to Sanjeev. Now these two, now look here, one variable we declared by the Raju, and the same variable we use for the storing different constants. So obviously the previous data which is available, that is get overridden over there. So $name is Raju, but $name is Sanjeev. So Raju get wiped out from the memory, and then it will be overwritten by the Sanjeev. So if you print $name, it has to print Sanjeev. Again, it will print this, though you will print 2 times, but it will print only the Sanjeev, not Rajiv, because Rajiv get overwritten by the Sanjeev, because a equals to 5 and then later on a equals to 7. So obviously if you print a, it will print 7, not 5. So the same manner, $name equals to Rajiv, then $name equals to Sanjeev, and if you print $name and then it will print Sanjeev. Now equal $Rajiv, so obviously it will print that there is no variable by the name of $Rajiv, because $Rajiv is not a name, it's a constant, right? Here in this case, $x equals to 100, $x equals to 200. Now $x equal to, here is the problem, here is the different things over there. Here while assigning the data, we are assigning a string type of data, $x equals to 100 and $x equals to 200. Now if you print $x and so it will print 200 initially, and then if you print $100, right? So let us check it out, what the result you will get over here. Means it will work like a reference variable. Here it is. Initially, let us check for the, we have a $name equal to Rajiv and $name equal to Sanjeev, and if you print name Sanjeev has to be printed, and there is no variable called as by the name of Rajiv, so it will print the same. There is no variable by the name of Rajiv, Sanjeev will print. Next is x equals to 100 in the string type of data, x equal to 200. Now here it will print 200, right? And then $100, right? If you print $100, so it's a string type of data, so it will print 100 again. And then here is the another concept. Okay, $name equals to Rajiv, and in the $name equal to Sanjeev, right? So now this Sanjeev become a reference variable of Rajiv. And here $name, if you print it has to print Rajiv, and $name it has to print Sanjeev. Obviously $name, it will be like it has to print dollar. It become a reference variable of it. So let us check it out, what it will the output. It has to print initially the Rajiv, okay, equal $name Rajiv, and here Sanjeev. The reason is here a $name's reference will be there, so it will be print Sanjeev, and if you print $Rajiv, so it will print Ravi. Let us check it out. Where is that? Okay. Echo $Rajiv. What is the output of it? It will print Rajiv, because Rajiv is also there. So it's like, okay, the simple concept is there. So here is one variable, and if you want to create a reference variable of use, it has to use the dollar over here. I'll be explaining this to you again. Dollar name equals to Ravi, dollar name equals to Ranjan, and now look here, we are creating a reference variable to this dollar name. Okay, so it become a, whenever you write a like dollar name, it will be print uh, Ranjan Ravi sort of, and then dollar you can create a reference of that also. So if you use dollar name, it has to print Ravi. Dollar name, it has to print Ranjan Ravi. Okay, let's check it out. What will get? Okay, Ravi Ranjan, and then if you print dollar means like, okay, it's like a one just what I explained about. Okay, you can get the pointer to pointer and all. So int equals to 5, int star b equals to address of a, and int star b c. So here this is a normal variable, then the pointer variable, reference variable, and reference to reference. In this manner you can able to generate the reference variables in case of PHP. As today's sessions is related to the basics of PHP, so I started from right from installation of XAMPP, how we can create the folder in the htdocs, and how to start the control panel. Okay, and then how to write the small PHP scripts, how to declare the variables, perform arithmetics, okay, concat the strings, and then we discuss about how we can use a reference variable and all. So this session will help you out, okay, to understand what is PHP, what are the versions of PHP, advantages of PHP, and writing the basic programs, like how we can create a folder and open in the Visual Source Code, and how to run the PHP scripts. As we just recently we discussed that, okay, PHP runs on the server. So the server side coding, if you want to make it, okay, if you want to read the data from the client and post it on the server and update the database, for this reason, to develop the web services, we have to use PHP. So this entire sessions, by using Visual Source Code, by installing the XAMPP control, you can simply try and test some of the codes in PHP, declaring variables, getting the data, and then processed on the server. This kind of codes you can easily test using PHP. So I hope you enjoy these sessions. Okay, see you soon. So discuss the rest about the next PHP sessions. Thank you very much.